Los Angeles just made history again. By 2028, both hotel and airport workers will be earning $30 per hour.
Today, LA City Council passed a proposal to increase the minimum wage for hotel and airport workers. The main goal of the proposal is for the minimum wage to reach $30 an hour by 2028.
Well, the LA City Council approved a pay raise for hotel and airport workers, but business owners say the impact could be a disaster.
This is the highest minimum wage of its kind throughout the entire country. Supporters call this a victory for the working class.
I think a lot of our members have been excited for this day and have been waiting for a really long time.
It's like a weight lifted off. We've been fighting this fight for 2 years.
But behind the scenes, something big is shifting. Investors are pulling out and robots are checking in. And the future of work may not include people at all.
David Townsend, the general manager of the Hyatt Place Hyatt House at LAX, says the hotel is losing $4 million a year.
Just to stay in business, the owners are paying $4 million a year just to stay in business.
Starting in 2025, LA airport and hotel workers will see their first wage increase from around $20 per hour to $30 per hour in 2028, an increase of $2.30 per year. And by 2026, employers must contribute $8.35 per hour for healthcare. That's $62,400 per year in base wages for the average employee, plus over $17,000 a year in healthcare costs, without including taxes, insurance, or any benefits. This law affects hotels with more than 60 rooms.
The new minimum wage will apply to hotels with more than 60 rooms.
This includes housekeepers, bellhops, and airport staff, some of the city's lowest paid service jobs. Supporters say it's a win for working class families who've been priced out of the city.
Well, I feel like if we want people to work in the hotels and work at the airport, we need to pay them a wage so they can afford to live in the city.
It's a way to bridge the gap between wages and the high cost of living in Los Angeles. But here's the kicker. This is all happening just before the LA Olympics in 2028. This will be one of the biggest tourism events in the world. Within weeks of the vote, at least one Hilton hotel near Universal Studios canceled a $250 million expansion plan, backed out of Olympic hotel deals, and said they are going to invest in other states instead. The Hilton near Universal Studios is just the start. Other hotel developers are already pausing projects, citing rising labor costs and regulatory risk as deal breakers. When labor gets expensive, businesses automate. Hotels in Asia already use robotic concierge, self-cleaning rooms, and zero human check-in kiosk. That's no longer futuristic, it's here. In New York City's Yotel, they already use a robotic luggage handler and barely have any front desk staff at all. In Japan, the Haneda Hotel already uses almost zero employees, fully autonomous.
Welcome to the Haneda Hotel.
Some companies aren't fighting. They're just leaving quietly. Orlando, Dallas, and Vegas are benefiting over the hospitality dollars that are leaving Los Angeles. This isn't just about hotels. Airline ground crews, restaurant staff, and theme parks are watching what happens next in LA. If wages jump, other unions will demand the same. Some hotels are already outsourcing staff or using agencies to avoid full-time hires. Others are considering automation subsidies or lobbying state lawmakers to simply slow down similar policies. As LA wages rise, so does the cost of living. But that doesn't help if automation eats your job. More workers are leaving expensive cities and moving to places like Phoenix, Las Vegas, Des Moines, Iowa, Cleveland, Ohio. Why? Same types of jobs, great lifestyle, and a much, much lower cost of living. Even with wage hikes, many of these workers will have 2, maybe 3 total jobs, including side hustles, just to survive.
Meanwhile, more Americans are working multiple jobs. The latest jobs report from October shows nearly 8.4 million people working multiple jobs.
Experts say people may be taking on additional jobs to offset high inflation, which has been easing but is still painfully high for some households.
One job may pay the rent, the second may pay for food, the third, cell phone bills, healthcare. car insurance, and other expenses. Labor unions in the other sectors, theme parks, airport staff, and cleaning services are pushing for similar wages between $25 and $30 per hour. Some are already threatening strikes and others are forming fast. Older hotel executives see the signs and say they're dangerous.
Hotels and businesses at LAX say the increase will make a bad situation worse. They say they're still recovering from the pandemic, and tourism is down even more from the impact of the LA fires and fears about tariffs.
Young workers see them as overdue. This is becoming a generational fight about what fair pay looks like in a post-pandemic economy. If machines take over check-ins, janitorial work, and room service, where does one get their first job? Are we quietly eliminating the very first steps that most people use to move up? From a business standpoint, AI and robotics, it's appealing. No HR issues, no paid time off, no wage increases. The bigger the labor costs get, the more expensive to operate that hotel, the more appealing automation and robotics become. Seattle and Chicago are already debating similar wage hikes for hotel workers and service workers. If LA pulls this off before the Olympics in 2028, it could set a national precedent. If it backfires, it might scare off future policy shifts elsewhere. Ironically, LA is racing to become modern and futuristic by 2028. But the very companies needed to host the games, hotels, transport services, many of these are backing out.
Several hotels now threatening to leave an agreement to offer discounted rooms for the 2028 Summer Olympic Games in Los Angeles.
Could these changes turn the Olympics into a disaster instead of a boost? In France and in Germany, strong labor protections have actually accelerated automation. McDonald's locations all throughout Paris have no employees. It's fully autonomous. Just kiosk and runners. It's fast, efficient, and unemotional. In Tokyo, fully autonomous hotel chains like Haneda were already testing automation years ago. And now they're expanding, and it's not because of wage increases. It's about stability and consistency. Even as automation expands, we are seeing global unrest. In South Korea, drivers protested their algorithm-based pay. In the UK, hospitality workers walked out after AI scheduling slashed their hours without warning. When we talk about rising wages, the real question is, what's the value of human labor in a post-AI world? If a robot can do the job and a city demands that workers be paid $30 per hour, how many businesses will opt in to pay $30 per hour? So what do you think? Is this the beginning of a more just economy or a push to the end of human labor as we know it? LA might just be one city, but the decision that it made touches the nerve that goes way past just California. This is the line we're all walking on now, between valuing people and replacing them. Increasing wages is supposed to help people survive, but in today's economy, the more they push to increase wages, the more enticing it is for those very companies to replace those jobs entirely. The truth is, AI does not strike. Robots do not need healthcare. And companies, they are not emotional, they are efficient. If we don't address the deeper imbalance of how the economy works, we're not just heading for a labor crisis, we're heading for a full-blown crisis. So what happens when millions of people want to work, but there is no work? The choices that cities make now, like Los Angeles, will determine what kind of future we pass down. One built for humans, another built for efficiency. Maybe it's not just about wages. Maybe it's about redefining what work is really for. What I believe is very likely going to happen is the economy is going to gradually get harder and harder and harder. Many leaders will say that the solution is to increase wages, increase the responsibility that employers have to provide for their employees. But the reality is, employers can only go so far, and they can't make up all of the problems that are caused by outside circumstances like local governments, federal governments, world governments, central banks. This is not the full-fledged responsibility of the employer. The employer is there to run and operate a business, but if they are pushed out of business, the smart ones will automate. I hope this doesn't happen, but it looks like this is the future we are walking into. And because of this, I believe we're going to start to see a lot of people change where they live and start to really move into affordable markets to survive. I believe Cleveland and a variety of other these affordable markets will benefit because of all of this. What are your thoughts about this entire situation? Click the link in the description below to learn more about exactly what I'm doing and how I'm investing to prepare for what I believe is going to be a massive wealth building opportunity. You can click the link in the description, and I'll catch you next video.